Hey YouTube, so today we are going to share with you the St. Petersburg KOA that is outside of Tampa in Florida. And yeah, it has an awesome view. These campsites are just so cool. So we just did the Badge of Honor in Salt Springs Recreation Area, and we are headed south. This is a maybe 3.5 hour drive, and it got progressively warmer the farther we went south as we headed toward Tampa. It seemed like most of the drive going south was actually pretty rural until we got right into the Tampa area, and then immediately it turned into city, and there was a whole lot of water. So this is an entrance, and there's a bike path right there. There will be a very thorough campground review near the latter part of the video. I'll put little markers in the bottom of the video that you can click on to get right to the interesting bits. So anyway, they rent bikes here. The bike rentals are on the left, and you pull in here basically with a camper, and you park. You go in, you check in, and that's a pool right there on the right, and the hot tub, and then they basically show up with a golf cart and they take you to your site. So I sped this up. Like I said, there will be a very detailed, lengthy review of all the stuff, but just a little preview. Look in front of me, there's all that water, and pretty much like all these sites on the left are right on the water, and we got this amazing site that I'm about to show you. And the guy will get out and help you back in. So DW33 is what we got. There is our view from our camper, and you can see all the neighbors have the same type of view. You have a fire pit, and we put the rug behind our camper this time, and we had a deck. I think our deck was the only one that had this railing on it from what I could tell. Maybe there was another one, but most of them just had the deck without the railing when we were here. And then you have a concrete patio, and then you have all the room. There was a fifth wheel next to us. It was like a 35-foot-ish fifth wheel right before we left, so even the bigger rigs can fit in here, and they were parked in the other direction, and that's a couple that just got that travel trailer that's next to us. So we did a trip to Clearwater Beach. There is a bicycle route right next to the campground that goes like really far. I want to say like 30 miles in each direction or something, and it's ridiculously long. I looked to see where it went, and it didn't really pique my interest. Instead, I wanted to ride our bikes around Clearwater. So we decided to travel up to Clearwater Beach, which is just like half an hour away, let's just say, north of that campground. And this right here is a bridge getting you to Clearwater Beach. So if you don't know about our channel is on camping and our Jeep mostly, and our dog, and our lifestyle. We have a vlog. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And this is during COVID, so I am wearing a mask a lot of the time, and you can see this is a perspective of me wearing a mask. So this is basically the edge of Clearwater, and we'll go in there, and I'm like riding my bike with the dog, and I have like the full-size Cannondale mountain bike going on, and Kimberly has her new e-bike that she's riding behind me. And yeah, like this looks kind of like, I guess, riding a bike in New York City where you're trying to get around everything. I'm working on a review right now of her e-bike, and we'll put a card in the corner and a link in the description and everything of the e-bike, so you can see a review of her bike. And so far it's a pretty nice e-bike, but like I said, this is the Cannondale that I'm on. So now I'm going to give you a full tour of the campground. So this is the entrance there here, and that right in front of that fencing on the left and right was that humongous bicycle trail. And then on the right, this is the main check-in. You can see they have lots of Jeeps. Like, everybody likes Jeeps. The fencing on the left, that little boxed area, is where the bicycles are, and there's a Gladiator. Yay! I got a duck. And there's a hot tub right there, and the pool's right there also. And on the left side is some of the cabins, and you'll see kids riding bikes all around the whole entire thing. So be super careful. And this is the main way into the campground, basically. And I think people were driving in both directions, but I think that this is the way you're supposed to go in, and I think the other way is the way that you're supposed to go out. So these are campsites on the right, and you can see that they are absolutely humongous campsites. And I'm going to try to throw some numbers up on different campsites that you see in the different areas. I know that with this KOA and a lot of the KOAs, you cannot pick which exact site you want, but you can usually pick like categories, and this will give you representative of each category. And you can see that all of these sites kind of on the left side back up to that view. There's only a very few of them that are blocked by something where there's like a bunch of trees or something in the way. And even the ones that have bushes, you can, for the most part, you can see through the bushes, like you can see there on the left. And they have cabins and stuff. So I really like the sites on the left that are the waterfront ones that say that they have a view when you reserve them. And I think I would have been a little disappointed if I hadn't stayed in one of those. So I'm so glad that we picked one of those sites. Now this boxed area in front of me is a kayak rental. That's where the boat launch is for the kayaks that go down into that water area. And I don't even know technically what you want to call that water. That is like, I want to say it's a bay off another bay off the ocean. Like, so whatever that is. So we are coming up on our camper, and you can see there's a fifth wheel next to us, like I had mentioned earlier in it, and that's a humongous fifth wheel, like even in the sights. And you can see we're there, and then we have room behind us, and we have like the truck sitting in front of it. So they can accommodate really humongous rigs, like even in the really great, fantastic sites. And you can see, I'm going to try to pan around with the camera at different angles for you guys so you can see exactly what they have here. And you can see how clear the view is on the left. Everybody is just always taking pictures of themselves and taking pictures of the sites and stuff. DW38. And you can see they have a pad. So this one has railing. I was wrong. In the beginning of the video I said that I thought only ours had railing. There's two of them with railing. That one doesn't have any at all. Some of them do have railing besides ours. Predominantly it seemed like they were putting the smaller campers on the left and the larger campers on the right. But that could have just been the way that people reserved. I'm not really sure. When we get down here near the end, you'll see some larger campers that have the view. Maybe it's just they like to put them farther down. I'm not really sure. But that's an Imagine. There's a fifth wheel there. There was a Class A there. But then you have the little tiny Bambi. DW50. Even these pull-throughs in the middle are not that bad. But I think I definitely, if I was to reserve another site here, it definitely would be a back end with a view. I wouldn't want to sign up for one of those pull-throughs, I don't think. They got a duck too. That blue Jeep. So these are cabins down here. There's another like boat launch looking thing back here. And a little bridge. And they had like a whole fleet of these golf carts with workers that were constantly doing things. You can tell they worked very hard on keeping this in tip-top shape. So see, there's like a little boat launch thing there. I don't really know what it's for. And then they have that little walking area that's like a bridge to look out. So we're going to go back around and look a little bit deeper into the campground, the area that doesn't have like the great view, and then we'll hit another section with a view, and in the end we'll hit the seasonal stuff, what I think is seasonal. So we were talking to some of the different people here that were camping, and they have a lot of different seasonal plans. One of the seasonal plans that they have here is called like a 5-7 plan or something, and you get to pick which site you camp in. But then they had other seasonal plans here, I think, that didn't offer that. And I'm not speaking for the campground. I'm just kind of what I overheard. and I have no affiliation at all with KOA. So if you don't camp here, like whatever, like I'm just sharing with you guys, like that we thought this was a really, really nice campground. So I think I would have been a little bit disappointed if I would have been back here in this section, because I would have been like a couple campers between me and that really great view. And I don't think the price was that much more to ask for the view. So this is like kind of like the exit, and what we're coming up on is the left hand side will be that entrance that we came in on, and the right hand side coming up is about to be the office. And there's another clumping of cabins obviously right here in the middle, like right around the office. So there's the entrance, and the left and right is that humongous bicycle trail. So there's mini golf there that they have. And that's the main office. And there's a whole fleet of cabins here in the center also. So the cabins are centrally located around the office and also that far corner. So this is her e-bike I'm on. If you didn't notice, like by looking at the shadow, just to kind of foreshadow that there's a video coming out on this bike, and you can see how easy it is to ride around. So look how big this site is. They can accommodate, I think, just about any kind of rig imaginable. We saw some humongous rigs in this campground. Here's another large site, and it's even generous like between the spots. So you can see all that wood the person had. I bet you that's a seasonal, because like you wouldn't normally have like piled up like 3 pickup loads of wood. So these people here were all interested in the bike, so we actually stopped and let them try out our bike. It was cool. They're cool people. Those are seasonals there. So like I was saying, it seems like the seasonals are kind of sprinkled throughout the whole campground if you're on one plan, and then they have another area that we're about to go to that looks like it's kind of like seasonal city. So like I said, they have kind of different plans. So now we're down near the water again, and I made a left turn instead of a right turn. There's a volleyball court on the left, and then from the way it looked, and like I said, I don't work for the campground, it looks like all these sites on the right, and there's a kind of a cool truck camper with a motorcycle. It looks like all the sites on the right hand side are going to be like your daily type sites or weekly sites or whatever that you're going to come down and vacation with. And then the sites on the left side look predominantly like those would be seasonal sites. And the reason why I say that is you can tell that the people are more set up to be there like for a long period of time. There's like a pad, like concrete pad, just to park the golf cart. There's a truck with a truck cover. You can see that RV has like the skirt around it, skirts around the tires. There's a glassed-in patio. It's a pretty heavy-duty glamping, and that's not really a negative term because we glamp, obviously. But I believe that this here, what we're seeing, is a seasonal loop, and I believe that 99% of what's around me right now is seasonal. The weather here was fantastic when we were here. I think it was like 70 degrees the whole time, and just it was so awesome being like right on the water the whole time. Sitting next to a fire and you have a view of the ocean basically is just so cool. And I know it technically isn't like the ocean, it's like a bay that's connected to the ocean, but still, like, it was just very, very peaceful and relaxing. They did do what I thought was an amazing job. The only odd thing at all that I found with this campground is a lot of the KOAs will take your credit card number, and then like they'll just like kind of charge like a number on file, like you have like a open tab with them. This KOA wouldn't do that. Like you had to come up and swipe like your card like every single time you did anything, and there I am again. So if you wanted firewood, for instance, you couldn't just like call them. You had to go up to the office to get the firewood. But when I say get it, I mean you just go up there and swipe your card and buy it, and then they would deliver it to the site. Where at other KOAs, like they had like your credit card number on file, and you could just like walk in and say, give them your site number, and then buy stuff, and you didn't have to have like the card with you or whatever. That was only a kind of different thing that was different about this KOA than the other ones we've stayed at. I mean, there's a lot of other things different. Like, I mean, they have the e-bikes, and they have the bikes, and they have the kayaks, and they have this awesome view, and they have the perfect weather. They have all kinds of great stuff going for them. So I don't want to just say like that's only one differentiating factor, but that's only one thing that seemed kind of really different than what I was expecting. So there's a kayak launch again, and we are about to pull up on our site, so you'll get a little chance to see part of our site again. And yeah, there's lots of golf carts around too, so they seem like they're allowed. But check with the KOA or whatever on the rules. I don't know the rules really good. There's our Jeep Gladiator that we tow with our camper, obviously, and there is a camper. And we're down here for Christmas vacation. So if you haven't, please subscribe, and hopefully this little review has helped you out with deciding whether or not you want to be at this campground or whether or not you want to go to a different one. And like I was saying, like, it makes no difference to me on if you camp here or not, because I have nothing to do with the campground. But to us, we thought this was one of the nicer campgrounds that we've stayed at in a while.